The CCBOE brings you a brief history of using machines to count votes. Machine counting ballots is not a new phenomenon. It is a secure, trustworthy process with many protections in place to prevent vote tampering. Machine counting is by far superior to hand counting in terms of accuracy, efficiency, and cost. To understand how votes are counted, you must first understand the ballot. In the United States, we vote using the Australian ballot, also known as the secret ballot. The secret ballot was adopted in the United States in 1884 and is still used today. Ballots are uniform and printed and distributed by the government. These ballots decrease corruption and voter fraud because voters can cast their vote without showing others their selections. 1892 marks the first year mechanical lever machines were used to record votes on a mechanical counter. By 1930, almost every major U.S. city began using mechanical lever voting machines. The next major advancement in machine vote counting technology was punch cards. To cast their ballot, a voter would use a stylus to punch out the hole next to their choice on a flipbook attached to the voting booth. Punch card voting allowed results to be announced much faster because votes could be tabulated using a machine card reader. Unfortunately, punch cards were difficult for humans to read, which made election audits and recounts difficult. That is why election officials in Florida had trouble determining the winner of the 2000 presidential election in the state, when the razor-thin margin between George Bush and Al Gore resulted in a 36-day recount that was ultimately stopped through a Supreme Court order. In response to the 2000 presidential election, the Help America Vote Act was passed in 2002. HAVA created minimum standards for states to follow when administering elections, provided funding for updated voting equipment, and created the Election Assistance Commission, or EAC. The EAC is an independent, nonpartisan federal agency that creates voting system guidelines and accredits voting system test laboratories. HAVA and the EAC help ensure there are standards in place to protect your vote and prevent fraud. The CCBOE now uses the Clear Ballot voting system, an industry leader in technology and security. With this system, voters make their selections on a paper ballot, which is then scanned by a voting machine. After the polls close on Election Day, the voting machines tabulate all the votes so the results can efficiently and accurately be reported. Using voting machines is more accurate, safe, cost-effective, and time-saving than hand-counting ballots. The CCBOE ran a test to compare hand-counting versus machine-counting votes. In 4 hours, 2 people counted 152 ballot pages. In that same amount of time, the tabulator counted over 12,000 ballot pages. The results from the tabulator had 0 errors. As a reminder, no voting machines are connected to the internet in Ohio. Using machines to count ballots is a long-standing practice in the United States. The CCBOE dedicates countless resources and hours to securing and testing voting machines before Election Day and verifying their accuracy after the election. For more information about the importance of machine counting votes, please visit the CCBOE website or follow it on social media.